And now it's time for the pilot episode of Crystal Lake Justice. Here's your host, the one, the only, Jason Voorhees. Thank you for that kind introduction there. Hello everyone, it's your old pal Jason here. This is the pilot episode, I guess, of the show. Well, I'm gonna give you a little backstory. You know, I used to be a little camper here at Crystal Lake back in '58. And then a little bit of a situation that we're not going to go into full detail happened. But I am now a full-time park ranger because of some killer deals that we had going on here for the past 20 years. But I managed to work my way up to park ranger. So we're going to go patrol the camp here. And let me leave my little home here, like my little house here. Let's go patrol the park, shall we? First we got to check the phones here. The phone's been up here. Hey, sir, you are not allowed to fix the phones without adult supervision. That is against park rules here. Sir, ma'am, whoever you are, that is against Crystal Lake guidelines, and you are not allowed to fix the phone lines without the park ranger supervision. I'm gonna have to write you a citation for that now. If you meet any resentment, you're gonna have to face. I have every right to defend myself. Listen, hey. Alright, that is assault and battery on a park ranger, and now you are gonna face federal crimes now. I'm gonna have to take you in now, so you need to come back here. You need to come back here. Now this is a little trick my daddy taught me. You know, you gotta take the prey, and you gotta squeeze a little hard. Well, would you look at that? She got so scared she strangled herself to death.
Make them suffer.
Committed self-harm. Would you look at that? We're gonna have to go check the cars now and see if they're in good shape. Well, this car looks in decent shape. Jason's gonna have to take a look at it. Perhaps we need to take it here to AutoZone. As you can see, we have some premarital sex going on here. There's been a lot of epidemic of underage sex here and some experimental drugs. Now we're gonna have to go stop him. So let's go see what we got here. Excuse me, is that experimental drugs you're dealing with over here? That is against park rules. You are not allowed to do marijuana. So I'm gonna have to write you guys a citation for doing marijuana. Okay, that is assault and battery on a licensed, trained park ranger. I do have to give you a warning. I am licensed. I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so I will use force if you resist. I'm gonna have to come in there and write you a citation now. I am a jiu-jitsu black belt. I will perform Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I call this one choppy choppy. See, them kids, they know how to resist.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Miss, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop, please. Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down. This will be over quick. We'll get this over with. This will be an easy protocol. Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to slow down. Put that baseball bat down now. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down. Ma'am, don't jiggle around. You might hurt yourself. You might break your neck. No. Oh, well, there's another accident.
Yes.
Add that on to the days of accidents here at the camp. Let's go check Mr. Higgins. You know, Mr. Higgins let me check his camp today. He said he's had some reports of some teenage conduct here in his camp. You know, me and Mr. Higgins, we go way back. You know, when I was a little deputy here in the park, when I was a young boy. Well, looks like we have some visitors over here. We might want to go ahead and write them a citation for littering here on the park, because I've seen some trash here on the ground. Looks like we're gonna have to write them a citation. Looks like we're gonna have to go pay him a visit. Excuse me, but you are not allowed to trespass the park after dark. That is That is against Camp Crystal Lake Park guidelines. According to the C section of the Penal Code, you are not allowed
You can
to
never
invade
die.
the park after 9 o'clock. Sir, I'm going to have to write you a citation now. There are no Chinese firecrackers allowed in the park either. Sir, I will use force. I am a black belt in karate. I will use my karate skills on you if I have to. Sir, I need you to slow down now. We can talk this out like gentlemen. Sir, sir. Ow! Okay, now you just committed assault and battery on a park ranger, and now I'm going to have to report this to the police. Sir, I am a licensed park ranger. I have been trained. I'm going to have to speak to you now. Sir, put the bat down. We can talk this out like gentlemen. Put the bat down. Put the bat down. Alright, I'm going to have to use my karate moves on you now.
What's more?
Alright, sir, I'm about to ask you to calm down. Calm down. Don't worry. I called this one the Tongan Death Grip. It's what Mr. Miyagi taught me in the Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt. The Jiu-Jitsu Academy. It's called the Tongan Death Grip.
Yes. Kill for mother.
I like using that Tongan Death Grip. Gets the job done every time. Well, I don't mean to kill these kids now. They just resist. I don't understand. I really don't understand. These kids love to resist. But hopefully the producers of the show will be able to cut that out. You know, we don't want no fucking, what are they called? The FCC coming in knocking at our doors now. Let's go over here and see if there's any... Excuse me, is there any experimental drug use going on over here? Ma'am, I'm gonna have to write you a citation for using that marijuana. I'm gonna have to write you a citation now. Sir, I am the park ranger, and I must say, if you try to defend yourself, if you try to attack me, I have every right to defend myself. I am a trained jiu-jitsu black belt. I've been legally trained by Mr. Miyagi, so I will use defense if you get a little rowdy. Now, let's talk this out. I have to write you a citation. Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down now. You better put the bat down now. We can talk this out like normal human beings. Ma'am, there's been Mr. Higgins told me there has been premarital sex going on, and there has been illegal marijuana use, which we do not allow according to the C section of the Penal Code. We are not allowed to have that here in Camp Crystal Lake guidelines. I couldn't. I left it in my truck. I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down now. Ma'am, I will use force. I am not afraid to. I am a legally trained park ranger. They taught me that in park ranger school, that I have every right to defend myself. That's different because park rangers have the right of way. You are invading private property after a certain hour. You are not allowed to. You woke me and my mother up. I'm gonna have to use force now. I'm sorry, but according to Section 5, I am allowed to do this. Have a nice day now. Man, I'll tell you, these kids are rowdy as hell.
They deserve to die.
Well, we have
Make them suffer like we.
King Kong Bundy over here, or whatever his name is. We need to, he's trying to impersonate me, you know. I'm from the south down here. I'm as my friends call me, Big Hoss down here in the South, here in Mr. Higgins said, has gave me the permission to come on his property and clean out the trouble. I'm sorry if I'm a little nervous. This is the pilot episode of this show. You know, the producer said for me to act natural, and I'm a little stuttering. You know, my brain's a little fried, you know, from doing this. So bear with me now. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and check over here. We're gonna use our ninja skills now, so let's sneak up now. Ma'am, there has been illegal marijuana use over here. I'm gonna have to write you a citation now. Now just bear with me. I will write you a citation. Oh, that's not a citation, but have a nice day now. I'm telling you, these kids get me all tensed up. That's why I was never easy to get along with in high school. We have to save electricity here. The electric bill up here at Camp Crystal Lake is really high. The electric bill is through the roof. Let's check over here now. I'm looking for a Tommy Jarvis. Is there a Tommy Jarvis in here? He seems to be the culprit of all this illegal marijuana use. We are trying to solve the case here of the illegal marijuana use. Is there a Tommy Jarvis here? Mr. Higgins has given me full permission to use force. Let's go check on this little island here. I'm looking for a Tommy Jarvis. Is there a Tommy Jarvis here? Mr. Tommy Jarvis. According to Mr. Higgins, he said that you had sex with that underage girl who was 14. Mr. Jarvis? Where could that boy be? He could be up here. Ah. Let's go ahead and pay him a visit now. Mr. Jarvis, I have reports here that you had sexual intercourse with that underage girl here at my park. I am a legally binded park ranger, and I have every right to use my karate on you if you resist. Now just come peacefully, and I will get you to the law. You had sex with that 14-year-old girl. She was a defenseless girl, and Mr. Higgins have given me full permission. Don't worry, I am a legally trained park ranger. This will be harmless if you just come over here and we'll get you a citation and be on your merry way. Don't worry. I've worked my way up to park ranger through some loose ends, if you know what I'm saying. You know, there's also been some illegal use of marijuana and some premarital sex going on here. You know anything about that? Now listen, this will be very harmless. Listen. Jarvis, I'm gonna have to ask, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down now. You're getting very fidgety. I will use my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I am a black belt. Sir, that is assault, that is attempted murder on a park ranger. That is federal prison you just asked for right there. Sir, that's 10 to 15 years in the federal law. Chinese firecrackers are illegal on park grounds. Are illegal on park grounds. No Chinese-made fireworks.
Never die.
Nothing against the Chinese, sir. I call this the Tongan death grip, so I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down now, sir. Job well done here at the park.
To die, Jason.
Mr. Higgins better pay up the big bucks here. That was a little tough. I had to use my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That's my good boy.